We before Rosh Hashanah decided I think we'd learn Likutei Moharan and discuss Rabbeinu Nachman ben Feiga and Nachman ben Simcha Susanenu. The Tzaddik Yosha should help us and everything, and then during that time we managed to learn Torah Kuf Nun Hey.
Yeah, that's what started.
Yeah, Torah Kuf Nun Hey was very much important because it was about Rika Supply and patience, which is one of the Yugan Rachmim, which we davened in the Muna, Eretz Yisrael, Emes. So when we touched on the idea of Emes in Eretz Yisrael, it brought us to Torah Mem Zayin. He quoted a concept from Torah Mem Zayin. This is all in the Likutei Moharan Chelik Aleph, the first part. Okay, so he says here, Torah Mem Zayin. We're learning Torah Mem Zayin about Acholta, Echol, the Savor, V'Hialtem. Yeah? Oh, you can, I don't know. Yeah, I have. Just do it like without making a mess. That's the trick. Oh, Gavaldik. And you eat. It's funny because he's talking about eating, you see? Eating the base midrash. You should eat and you should be satiated and praise. That's the kind of blessing you want. You know, we're coming up to Zman Simcha Seinu, Sukkot. You know, these are the days of preparation. We mentioned in our shir last week about Yud Kei Vav Kei and all these panemius things. So we're going to jump into that whole story of Sukkot. Zman Simcha Seinu. One of the ways of Mekayim Simcha. It's a big high madrega to reach the level of simcha, especially when it's a mitzvah, extra mitzvah of sukkahs. It's a time of simcha, a time where all the simcha the whole year comes down. So one of the ways, obviously, is having a suda, is eating, and that's what we're going to do in the sukkah mitzvah.
With friends.
Yes, and Rabbi Nachman's Yotzai Hilula comes out during sukkah, so we said Nachman ben Simcha.
The second night of
It's the fourth night. Moshe Rabbeinu is the shpizin. Which makes sense according to the Chassidim, because according to the Litvaks it's actually a change or a switch, or they move it to a different day because it's the day when, according to Vilna Gaon, is Yotzai, which is the fifth day of Sukkot. So they have a Moshe Rabbeinu as a Shpinaz and then and their Seder. Because they do it chronologically, we do it according to the Sfiras of the Yonim. And the idea that Moshe and Nachman, and they're all connected, the idea of Netzach and the idea of Simcha and the Zman of Simcha, and just shows you that the Baal Shem Tov's on Shavuos, which is the Zman of Torah, and the Vilna Gaon is on Sukkah, Zman of Simcha. So even the biggest Torah Yid from history that we hear about, the Vilna Gaon, comes out on the Zman of Simcha because even the Litvaks need Simcha, yeah? And that's what we're going to see, that eating with satiation and praising Hashem is a big part of the avodah of Simcha, of Sukkot, all the chiyuvim of Sudas, especially the first night of Sukkah, and but the most important part we're going to learn, because when you don't have Yom Tov, when you don't have Shabbos, is when you eat, it should be Onik Shabbos, it should be Simchas Yom Tov, it should be during the week even now, before we get there. We have to eat in a certain way, and that's what we're going to learn. It's very, very high concepts, because eating Kedusha is something which is a holy, holy thing. I'll just tell you one disclaimer. I hope Nissim Black doesn't mind me quoting this, but I think he's quoted it publicly, and if he hasn't, forgive me. But he once spoke to Tzaddikim, I think it was Rav Shalom Morish, or maybe Rav Morgenstern, and he was asked, like, in preference to what should a person indulge a bit more in something. He's a ben olam, he's a human, and he's going to have moments of taiva and test. So one of the things he was told, that the one thing that in his situation, and maybe this is applicable for most of us, is eating. Yeah, you can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the weaker plate. Now, the Jewish world, I would say, has a problem with eating like nowadays. Like, we overeat, especially in America. Excuse me to say this, but they're generally bigger people and they eat much more. And I've seen it with my own eyes when I've gone to America, or when I've been in places where Americans are at. Like the quality, the amount, it's a whole nother level than the Eretz Yisrael Yidden generally eating. And it could be, that's their avoda, their mila, the gashmis, but it also could be, but they're not holding on this level of Kedushas Achila, it's a high level. And especially when it comes to all the timers that are over there in America, and generally they're exposed to, so this is their weaker point. and that has been discussed in podcasts. So there needs to be more
It's very easy to know what type of
working on it
in
here.
America there's-
Yeah. So we really need to work on it. I mean, the abundance when I experienced there was just not normal. So, but the idea we really need to work. I'm just doing this as a preparation for the idea that eating needs to be done with mindfulness, with awareness, with a little bit of humility, with understanding that there's a gvul, and you yourself will feel more happy and more satiated. And this is the point here, v'savah, v'haltem, you'll be satiated, and then you'll praise Hashem, you'll feel better about yourself. To the point of praise comes from when you're in a good state of
We
mind.
didn't even get into the Torah yet.
Yeah.
It feels like you mentioned as related to Sukkot,
Yeah.
and it feels like it's like leading you into it with the halal.
Yeah. Halal, exactly. Brilliant. Thank you for saying that, Zevi. So the idea of halal, I'll put the phone here so we can hear your beautiful Torah. The idea of halal, of praising Hashem, is a very big part of Sukkot, Mansam Chasenu. It's the most halals we say, other than Hanukkah, because there's eight days, and Hanukkah is also 8 days, including Simchas Torah for Sukkot. So we say all these halals, all these times of praising Hashem, and that's the point. To eat should bring us to a state of mind where we're thanking Hashem. And now you're going to see it's going to be very practical in daily life when we learn this Torah, because Rabbi Nachman, one of the most important things, he mentioned it before, is about das. Rav Shlomo mentioned it in the Shir Min Chamarav, das, bringing it into das. We're going to learn that Sukkot is a zman of das, and there's dat, to really know Hashem, the man yedu, it's a zman to know Hashem, and it's also a time to really tune in to awareness, to true knowledge, that affects daily life. And eating is something we have to do every day, except for Yom Kippur and a few fast days a year. We all need to eat, so we need to do it right. Mi shahu. Yeah, let's see what it says in pasuk. It's quoted from a pasuk from Yah, the first line. And then now let's go into the actual Torah. Mi shu mishkua b'tayvus achila. Someone who's like completely enveloped in the desire of eating, or I don't know how to say translate. We've already got better translation over there, but tayvus achila. We just leave it as tayvus achila, which means because we'll just keep it that word. But it means basically indulging in eating. Now this is the most important thing of the Torah, in my opinion, from what I remember learning it a long time ago. But the Nakuda is emes. Emes is the Nakuda. What do we get from Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur if we had to come out with something? Everyone has different things. You said a lot of prayers. You connect to a lot of people. You connect to the community. I would say the most important point of the davening, if you would catch a word again and again, especially Rosh Hashanah, and I think Yom Kippur comes up again, also more to do with Tahara, but the word of emes, purity and emes, they're very connected. The idea of emes, Hashem built this world for people of truth, and if someone's busy stressing and stuffing his face, and the way it says, and I'm not saying anyone here is doing that, I'm just saying the Torah.
One who's into that type of, that's like
Gedalia Fenster quote, great one. Face your stuff, don't stuff your face. That's a great quote. Now, because it means you're distant from truth. Because when you're facing your stuff, you're being real. You're facing your life. You're not ignoring issues. You're not ignoring your wife like I was about half an hour ago. You're not ignoring her. You're facing. You're not ignoring her. Yeah, she should. You're facing the requests that your family need, and you're facing it, and you're being emes, and then that gives you power to stay away from tayvus achila, because the concept of eating, speaking, being an emestika person is all connected, because you now start to understand. That's where Rabbi Nachman is going to help us understand how to apply the meter of emes into
more amuna, more emes.
Yeah, but into how you eat, and it'll affect how you eat.
The taiva is the anti.
And this shows Yiddishkeit is real, because everything else. I remember when I learned other religions, there's no other place, as far as I remember, maybe a little bit some of mindfulness movement, where they're so caught up with exactly how you eat, to the in terms of the shirim, and there's a whole Torah about it. It's not like just some guy feels this way or feels that way. It's a real Messiah. It's from the Torah. We have a cholta v'savat v'rachta. It's a pasuk. It's a chiyuv. It's a deraisa. It's from the Torah. It's from the Rabbanon. It's a whole way of facing food.
Also, like advertising the Jewish diet would not be popular at all.
Well, that's true, but praising America,
but it's a good diet.
Praising America in the other way,
Eating
the fact that
satiated and
OU and the technology, what they're dealing with, the complications of kashrut, And the fact they've managed to make a whole industry of kosher food that's worth billions of dollars is also an amazing achievement, because they've taken on the challenge of technology and reality of the world, and they've mekadesh the whole world. And you're eating food now, you're eating food from the whole world. Because it's all different imports and exports, it's mass elevation of nitzosis. It's the ability, every person sits down and has something to eat. They're probably elevating sparks in India and from China, from even Ukraine, if they're still able to import. From the whole world. The whole world's getting elevation. Hopefully some of the food to Eretz Yisrael as well. So you get the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. But the idea you're elevating all the time, sparks and sparks. We're going to learn about this. Anyway, let's go into it. What happens when a person doesn't eat with MS and he's indulging in the food? Judgment comes on him. Gamze simin al dalas. And this is a really hard one for anyone who's struggling with panasa, with economic stuff. And this is very real. Rabbi Nachman's getting straight to the kishkas. Gamze simin al dalas. This is a sign on poverty. Yeah. So if anyone struggled with being poor, which I'll be honest, I've had time periods in my journey where I wouldn't call myself poor, but I felt rich. But
everybody struggles at times.
But I had times where I really had minimal income, like to the point where I was like living off miracles day by day, even with a wife and kids, and it can be pretty difficult. So, because then, what does he say here? Gam yavo lidei biznyonos uvushos. Yeah, because then you come to getting ashamed and embarrassment. You get situations. I remember I went once to a Rebbe, Rav Simai Zilberg, and I really didn't have anything. I said to him after Marav, I said, look, MS. He said, well, you have bread and milk? I said, yeah, all right, that I got. He said, I don't know what to say to you. I just give you a bracha. I'm like, I don't come here for a bracha. I need an eitzah. I need something real, yeah? I can pay for the bread and milk tomorrow, but, I need to move house another week, and there's a lot of expenses going on, more than just bread and milk. So I was a little bit disappointed, but I took the bracha and I said, thank you. And I went to Kollel the next day, like as if everything's okay. And obviously Kollel doesn't pay you back that much back then, and still not. And I was there. And I get a call. I called my wife because I didn't have a mobile phone back then. I phoned her on. I remember one of those phones. Yeah,
Asimon.
Yeah, with this. It was a card back then.
The orange ones.
So I plug in the card, or she phoned me, and she knew the phone number of the base midrash. She phoned me. I answered. It was a certain time of day. I answered. I said, "You wouldn't believe it. We just got an envelope with $2,500 given to us. Yeah, it's going to help with the move. Everything. I can't believe it." And I said, did you tell that person anything about why, what, this, that? Nothing. Never told anyone nothing. So in the end, the Sadek's bracha was Mekayim within like a short time. So when you want the brachas, it's like a joke that the Chassidim say. They get a bracha from the Rebbe, $1 from the Rebbe. It's blessed $1. They say, I don't want your blessed $1. Give me 100 cursed $1. Yeah, it's too little. So, but the point is, with the blessed $1 is better, because you're going to see it's going to come good. Bizyonis, avushos, you're feeling very ashamed and embarrassed because you don't know how you're going to get by. Kamashakosov, kurim, zalus, livnei odin. Now this is beautiful. Yeah, he's taking us to a pasuk, this concept of when a person's face becomes like different, changes colors. It's embarrassment, basically.
Right.
Yeah? And the pasuk is hinting to that in Tehillim. If you want to just give me the English there, and we'll just get exact pasuk. We could look it up in Tehillim, but why not when it's right here? He says, "Kurum, that is resorted degraded by the sons of man." Yeah. Okay, so you end up. It's basically you get degraded. That's the connection. We're going to see this whole idea of the face changing colors. We're going to see in a minute. Kavan shesarch adon lebrius nishtane panav kurum. Yeah, when a person needs other people, he comes with his hand out like this. What's going to happen? His face is going to turn colors. It's a Gemara in Brachas.
A multicolored bird.
Yeah, it's based on a multicolored bird, exactly.
Thank you, notes.
Yeah, very nice.
Amazing.
But yes, the whole Gemara in Brachas talks about the krum, some sort of bird that's multicolored. But the point is, the face.
It goes from white to red, or
the
whatever.
face goes white to red, and the blood goes out your face, and it's a very big kapara, because remember, dinim, we're going to learn in a minute, dinim is connected to dam, blood. When judgments are sure on a person, when he's in a state of poverty or difficulty, when that happens, God forbid, when the blood goes out your face, think about it. That's connected to the judgment that's gone on, that you have to be ashamed. God forbid. Shem Shemenu, Shem should give us Shefa, all of us Shefa.
Right.
Yeah? So you shouldn't have to go through this. But the point is, where does it all start? We already remember, don't forget, the root of it is the eating, the fressing. Yeah? Rak mishu meshabet taivas l'chila, and no, says Rabbi Nachman. Remember Nachman says V'da, he means atzilus, he means like this is important. There's a big da and a daled ayin of the da, the Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, the Odi. This is the big, he's waking up your neshama. Da, mishu meshabet, someone who's breaking his taivas l'chila, the indulging and eating. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ois al yido mosim. Hashem's going to do upon him miracles. Ki amra chachmeinu. And I can testify, I've experienced this. Not that I'm such a tzaddik, but on my little level, connecting to tzaddikim, I've seen miracles. Living in this holy land, where I've literally, I remember one, I went to the same rabbi of Sumaya, and I was talking to him about the same kind of sugya with the money thing. He looks down on the floor in front of me, and he says, $50, picks up, goes, there you go, that's the start. Like, I mean, it was like stories like this, yeah? I mean, I'm not making it up. I'm talking about buying houses and things that you wouldn't think possible with the kind of money and income I had. Things worked out. Yeah, miracles. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yedei Mosim. He does miracles for him. Yeah, Ki Amar Chachmeinu Zechon LeBracha. Ksiv, it says in Gemara Brachas, Asher Lo Yisa Panim. Now, we say, this is a pasuk, the concept of panim, and we're going to see it connected to Birkas Kohanim, but the bring in the Gemara, that which you shall lift up, you should not lift up your face, yeah, because it says in the pasuk, Yisa Hashem panav elecha. Well, that's what we say in Birkas Kohanim, that Hashem lifts up His face to us, to you. Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu eich lo esa lehem panim. He says, how can you not lift up your face? Ani amati v'cholta v'savati v'rachta. Yeah, what did Hashem say to us? He said, when you eat, you've got upon him. You're made in the Tselem Elokim. How can you not lift up your face? Yeah, you're made in God's image, and when you eat, how can you not lift up your face to do it with a holiness, with an elevation? Yeah, why? Because there's a pasuk. Because I said to you, "V'cholta v'savati v'rachta." This is what Hashem says to you, to all of us. You should eat, you should be satiated, and you should bless. Yeah, this is the Seder. You eat, you satiate. Hashem wants this. This is Ratzon Hashem, mamish. Like, you want to know what Kodesh Baruch Hu wants from you when you finish davening, you go have breakfast. What does he want at the end of the day? Go have dinner. Yeah, the middle, whatever. But at least minimal.
Bless him.
Yeah, and Shabbos you have 3 times meals, and then Yom Tov you have 2. Yeah, and this is what Hashem wants. He wants you to eat satiation. With that satiation, bless. Included in the satiation, when you eat, you should also drink something as well. It's actually halacha. You should have some water or something, some liquid, because it goes together. Satiation goes together with eating and drinking. Now, obviously, this concept is talking about during the week, yeah. Because once again, Shabbos is room for in the Sham Yisera. There's a bit more room to eat, but during the week, Hashem is medactic on him. He's asking us to be medactic on ourselves with a kazayas and a kabeya. This is a high level, but the concept is the kazayas is actually about the size of an olive, which is about, if you want to be approximate, it's about matchbox, and a kabeya is an egg. So you know how big an egg is. Maybe they were bigger sizes back in the day, but the point is, we're not talking about eating a whole cake to yourself. Yeah, we're talking about maybe 2 pieces of a cake would be fine, and then you can make hanamichya, yeah. Or
someone was brought up. He's mentioned a couple of times, like somebody he should want to bench so bad that like the tzaddikim will have a kazayit or a kabesa just for the purpose of benching.
Okay, this is it. Yeah. This is this Torah. What he's quoting, what he's saying is from this Torah. Maybe he got it from tzaddikim themselves, but this is the concept. You're eating for the sake of Mekayim Ratzon Hashem. It's that kind of mindfulness. Mindfulness, once again, none of the other religions have. None of them. I don't care. You can quote Daniel Goleman, he's a Jew. You can quote all these gurus of mindfulness, Ram Das, all these guys. Yeah, they're all Jews probably, but it doesn't matter. Maybe they're remembered from their Zaydas, this concept. But the idea is of eating a kazayas, eating a be'er, eating according to the Shulchan Aruch, what gives you the chiyuv of benching. This is the kind of way a Jew eats. It's a different way of eating. We're eating in order to be satiated and to bless Hashem. And that, remember, we don't want to be poor. Yeah, we don't want to have to be embarrassed in life. We don't have to come to people to ask for money. So this is like the salute. Rabbi Nachman is telling us this is the process to live a life of miracles, to live a miraculous life, live a life of blessing, to not have to come to people with can you help me with this and help me with that, never. And I've gone through it, time and time again in this holy land. I've had times I've been able to give, Baruch Hashem. It's all up to Hashem, whatever Hashem wants. But the point is giving you a solution how to avoid those rough moments of, God forbid, of coming to people for money and stuff. It's painful. Yeah, I'll give you one other story. It's just good. The stories are good. Since we mentioned
people come to you for money.
Amen. But Rav Simai Zilberg, he once gave me a letter, beautiful letter. He wrote it himself. Spent a long time on this letter. Must have been about half an hour. Mostly Shabbos. It's around 1 a.m. I'm in his office because he finishes Shabbos. I'm talking about a real big tzaddik. Like you read about in the Chassidish Shemaises. He's like one of those, like Kedushas Levi kind of tzaddik in this generation. He's alive. He's concerned.
I've been to.
He's a Moshe Weinberger's.
I drove there once for Shabbos.
He's a Moshe Weinberger. Talks about him and.
Was you that met my? No, it was Yosef.
Yeah.
Yosef just met my friend Menachem. So it wasn't you. But I went once with Menachem.
Nice.
And he brought me there, and it was like well after Shabbos we drove there.
Yeah, and it's another one.
And then got back into Shabbos.
Where was this?
He's based in, used to be in Ezra's Torah, now he's based in Rochav Bar Ilan. He's got a new shul there. Rav Simai Zilberberg. He's a big, he's an Amshin of a Chassid, but originally was gay. He's a very big person. I was by him years, so I was in his world of
Amazing.
Holiness. And so one of the stories he wrote me a long letter, pages. About 3-4 pages, and his writing is very with Yerushalayim. He writes it very carefully, thought out, and he said a beautiful thing. I wish I must have the letter somewhere, and he wrote it so beautifully. And I took the letter with me, and I went to London, and I went to a family there in London. I was in Kollel, and my parents weren't really interested in helping me because they'd helped me enough or whatever, and I needed a parnassa. I was in between jobs and Kollels and this and that, so I went to this Rav Feshwasser. You heard of Rav Feshwasser? He's a very wealthy person. Fishwasser, they call it in Yiddish. I went to his house, huge house in Goldie. Now he doesn't do it in his house anymore. It used to be in his house. Now he does it in a hall. But basically, hundreds and hundreds of shnorim come. I'm sorry to align myself with that, but that's what happened. Yeah. So I went, and I just spent time with my friends, my crew, and my crew are all wealthy guys. I didn't ask any of them, God forbid. I'm not going to ask my non-religious friends at that time for money because they wouldn't understand what's going on with laser. You come from a family, you should be able to be okay. We didn't need money for it. I didn't want to get into that conversation with them, so I didn't mention nothing to them. I just said I need to get to this house first of all. So my friend said to me, you know what, I'll drive you. He drove me all the way, and by the way, that was the first night I'd ever seen Matzah before.
Did I just
so
catch
that's
laser
dating it.
in there?
Huh?
Did I just catch laser in there?
What do you mean laser?
Did you not say laser?
That's me. That's my name.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, people call me Laser.
Okay.
That's how Rav Simai called me Blazer. So anyway, I come all the way to Golders Green, walk into this house with my friend who's incredibly wealthy. Now he's even more wealthy himself. Yeah, we walk into this house, and he knows this family because he's in the property world. He walks in, and he sees hundreds of shnorim and a whole system of numbers and who's getting called in this house, all around this house with food and drink. It's like he'd never seen anything like it before. His father does charity, but not like this. This is another level. And it makes a big impression on him. But he says, I got to go. So he goes. And I'm sitting, I ask for a number. They give me a number. And I look at them and I'm like, you know what? This is going to my time with my friends is precious. I'm still boys with all these guys. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back. I said to my friend, let me come with you. I'll come back later. I've got the number. I'll come back. It'll work out. This was around 8, 9 o'clock. I go back all the way back to where we were with all my crew, end up hanging out a bit more, and then I'm like, I've got to get back there. So I need a taxi. So I'm going to spend 10 quid or whatever, the standards to get all the way back there. Go back there, walk in. It's now 12:30 or something. Hours later. What's the chance the number probably passed? Who knows? I walk in, first thing I hear my number.
Nice.
I go into the guy's room. I've got this letter from Rav Simai Zilberg. I give it to him. And he's an uncle, very wealthy uncle, but an uncle of Rav Simai. He reads the letter. He's he knows Rav Simai is a big tzaddik. He says, okay, you're a real deal. He writes a nice check, gives it to me. And it was one of the only checks I ever got. My father found out about this. He was pissed. He was like, you're taking money from Freshwasser? My son, what's going on here? I said, Dad, you're not interested. What can I do? So anyway, I went and I got the money anyway. But the reason I'm telling the story, it could have been a very embarrassing situation, the whole thing, sitting there for 4 hours with not being with my friends and all this and that. In the end, the one who took me there, ended up becoming religious, and he does loads of charity himself.
Amazing.
And
left a Russian.
yeah, it left a big impression on him. I myself didn't wait 5 seconds. I literally walked in and my number was called. And I had the money I needed at that time to survive, whatever it was at that time. Yeah. So, Hashem, even when you can schnorr, you can do it with miracles. Yeah. So, we shouldn't have to schnorr, but if it happens, Hashem can make it that also good. Nimsa Nasias upon him, who Aidei Shubha Tavis Achila. How do you get this raising of the face, elevation? How does he describe it there? What's the translation? Nasias upon him. This idea of lifting up the face. He brings it. Lo asalech upon him. How's he? Favor results from breaking the desire for eating. Yeah, what's he say here? Yeah, it's a high thing, this concept, but it's practical because we can do it. The point is, every one of us can do this on some level. It means in the middle of eating, before we translate Rabbi Nachman, just to give it like a very basic halacha, the Rivet's fast. You ever heard of it?
The Rivet's fast?
Yeah. It's not about not eating. It's about when you're in the midst of eating, just leave a little bit. That's the Rivet's fast. And that is Kodesh Hashem.
I thought the Ramban said that also.
It's brought down.
80%.
That's Rambam. Rambam brings you shouldn't fill yourself up to a certain amount. Yeah, similar kind of concept, you're right. But the point is, this is like, you're not even worrying about being filled at that point, not even getting to the filled point. You're self-disciplining yourself to leave a little bit. To not always finish everything and need more and more. Like, these people can eat like 3-4 pizzas, like I can just about do a slice or two, personally. I'm just saying, I don't eat much. I'm not saddik, but I just don't eat much. I don't have that kind of appetite. I don't get the whole 3-4 pizzas. I just don't understand it. Anyway, Nimsa says, Paim, Aidei Shibba Taiv Zechila, Zer Perish Astati Panai Vaila Ochel. Perish Aidei Taiv Zechila, who Mestase Ponim. So basically, you got the choice in front of you. You eat with Kedusha, you get elevation, your face goes up, you become holy, you become the true Zevi, the true, what's your name, full name? Baruch, isn't it? True Baruch, true Eli, yeah? Eli Eliezer, yeah? It's all good. You reach that level, yeah?
I like this. It's good Torah.
Baruch Shem. So you reach that level of the true Baruch, or you could be Chas Shalom, the not such true Eliezer, Eli Eliezer, my name, because you've had a fresh, you got lost in the food. As they say, what's your face in the plate? Is that I don't know. Well, there's loads of statements about eating wrong that people use nowadays. We're all human beings. We have those moments. And the point is, even Sukkot, even Shabbos, we mentioned at the beginning when you were just getting your stuff together, that even Shabbos is a time of eating and enjoyment and simcha, but even that, have an awareness. There's a gavul, yeah? Like same with drinking. People, can drink a lot and not even realize because it's liquid. It comes in. It doesn't fill you up necessarily. So you have to be careful. Like I've noticed since I've come here, I probably have drunk a bit more than I did than when I was living in Yerushalayim. One, not such a big drinker myself, but there's more situations like Charles' house or the Kiddush here. Or there's it's more. So I have to think to myself how many cups am I going to do tonight? I'm not just going to drink and not think about it. There has to be some sort of boundary. Like Chabad for Bengen, the Rebbe would say 4 kos l'chaims, and that means not giant Coca-Cola koses. Yeah, it means 4 cups, small little cups of l'chaims. And if you drink that way, that's a different. You get into a happy state, but you're not like shikah. Yeah, it's not Purim. You don't get shikah stam. So this is our mitzvah. We have a higher way of dealing with the physical, and that leads us to get to. No problem. That leads us to get to the level of Nasias Panim, where our face, or Nasias Panim, where our face gets elevated. Panim is Birkas Kohanim, but the actual Ha'aras Panim, we have a light on our face. Would you believe it? I've seen it by Tzaddikim. I've seen it by holy people that have a light to them. Even my father. Bro, you gotta hear this. My father, he is from that world, like Spitz, secular,
You mentioned other stories I get with the entertainment.
I mean, I can give you stories of him.
So I get it. I get that world.
Remember they had the Elton John story?
It's the
Sitting there,
opposite
Elton John, the
opposite
of Kedusha. Yeah. He's doing like the worst Avera in the world at the table in front of my father, and that's the kind of environment. My father was a Spitz entertainment once. I told a story last time we learned. He told me a story last trip I went to England that he had dinner with Elton John. That's kind of stories what happened at that dinner. The opposite of this. Opposite. Yeah? To the point where their business arrangements no longer went ahead anymore. Because even my dad, there's a gavul. My dad's not like a frum guy, not religious at all. I have a picture of him putting tefillin on Erev Yom Kippur in Spain, which is pretty impressive, and thank you Chabad for doing that. And I did buy him a pair of tefillin which he used to put on his grandson, and Baruch Hashem, he got the credit. So with the idea that a Yid, a Jew, like my father, when he saw a Simai Zilberberg, he saw light. He saw Kedusha, and he said it with his own mouth, I couldn't believe it. He said such holiness, and he ran away.
You can see
he ran away.
You can see it here.
He ran out of the room. He ran out of the shul, and he got into a taxi, and he went to a bar. That was the only way he could deal with it. Process the Kedusha you saw.
You sometimes see here after a Friday night when
everyone's
davening is
face.
Like you go outside,
people are shining.
People are mamish glowing.
Yeah,
their faces are.
So that's what eating properly, praying properly, being a good yid. You don't have to be like the tzaddik of the generation. Being a good yid, you can have a shining face. So and a shining face is the opposite of the embarrassing face with all these judgments you have to sweep. Yeah.
It's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
It goes together with the gluttonous eating, and not for the right reasons, and not appropriately saying thank you.
Can I say something crude? Did you let me say it?
Are you just joking?
I'm on being recorded, but I don't care because I think it's important. I was listening to a podcast.
You say what you say.
An Lex Friedman podcast. Yeah, he's a Jew. Not very frum Jew, but nevertheless a nice Jew. Very intelligent Jew. Highly intelligent. He's a robot inventor and other things. He's from the famous, what's the name of the math school in America? Everyone's a genius school. MIT. He's from MIT, and he's a big person. Yeah.
What was this guy's name?
Lex Friedman. He's close to Rogan. He's close to all that crew. Yeah. He had a fight the other day, jiu-jitsu with Mark Zuckerberg. You know, that's who he hangs out with. Yeah. He's not a small
These
guy.
Guys.
He's a big dude. Okay, in the business world. Anyway, so Lex Friedman was with this.
That's what he's doing now, Mark. He's doing.
Yeah, he's into jiu-jitsu. Yeah, funny enough. But Lex Friedman was, and he's also close to Elon Musk as well. So he's like between the two of them. But he had a guy on his show, and he sounded like a Jewish dude. He's a divorce lawyer. I assume he's Jewish. It's pretty like the way he talks, the way he didn't say it, but I think I've heard him other times. I think he's a Jewish guy. Whether he is or not, it's not the point. He wasn't the most impressive, I would say. But he gave an example. If you would catch the most famous choshev special person in the middle of, masturbation, excuse my language, that would take away your, sort of lower your level of, this is what they were discussing.
Speaking of this guy.
Yeah, you think, this divorce lawyer was saying, it would like lower your, because in his opinion, his understanding of the world, everyone does that. Now we know, we're learning Rabbi Nachman's Hussein, that no one in Breslov does that because it's against the Torah to the point where Rabbi Nachman is like a war with that in you. Yeah, it's to be Kedusha's your sword. You don't spill seed. Hashem never masturbate in your life. Yeah, according to Breslov. Yeah, unfortunately, the general world don't know about this. Because that was one of the chizuks when I started learning Torah. I was like, wow, now this connects. I've stopped doing it. I'm saving all this energy, and I'm starting to shine more because I do believe that chila, eating and your bris is connected, and it gives you energy. When you hold that energy within and you eat properly, you get the much more nutrients from what you do eat because you don't overeat. Your body doesn't have to overwork, and that's been proven scientifically. Yeah, that the body gets pushed past its patience, like it's too much for the body. All this food, all this drink, this overeating processing.
It gets used to it.
Yeah, and it's now has to do so much extra work that it doesn't need. It doesn't need all this. It's just it becomes fat and all this negative stuff that you don't need. All this baggage you don't need. So the same with losing your energy, the other way around, by speaking badly or spilling seed chashem. These are things that are opposite of Kedusha. And you see, people who are guarding themselves in all these things, they shine. And people who are not, they don't. Their faces are dark. And you can just look. Yeah, they do not have a light to them. Now, some people might make a light in other ways. I believe that some righteous goyim or Jews who aren't keeping Torah get light from other ways because they do acts of chesed. Or Hashem can bring light to anyone. They're happy people and they make other people
These are
happy.
the things that darken your life.
basically.
Or take it away.
Yeah. So if you want, and what does it lead to? Think about it. One of the ways you make a living is you need to find chen be'elakim ba'adam. You need to find grace in people's eyes. One of the things I'm a bit frustrated right now. I don't feel like I'm getting chen. Maybe in Shirat David I am because they're nice people. But in the world out there, I don't feel so much chen because the world out there just feels like it's against my message. Like maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's how I feel right now. So to get chen, to really get grace in God's eyes and people's eyes, which is then going to bring about successful business and deals, it does really, you got to shine. And what does that mean? You're less self-indulgent, which means you're more giving, you're more selfless. And that attracts success. People who are giving get more. Yeah, it's all like connected. It's all like a mindset that is. And the Rabbi Nachman is giving us a very deep idea that it to the point where it's al pi halacha, it's al pi how we eat.
Well, you even said it.
Eating shiurim, eating according to the halachic guidance. Ikar shiris bob me'emes. This is really important. Yeah. I think we jumped. Let's go back. Okay, Zeh. Yeah, we were did that. Whereby I hid my face and I ate. Perish you hide your face. Even worse, there comes a hest upon him. That's where we are now. Yeah, there comes a hest upon him when we eat not right.
Right.
You Torah Mem Zion. You over there?
I'm in Mem Zion.
Right at the beginning. I think you there. Yeah.
No, we were in this paragraph.
Oh yeah. Let me look where we are. Okay. Yeah, that's where I just was. Yeah, let's just finish off that paragraph. Perish upon him. Aras upon him. All right, this is a really important. We'll end with this today, because you'll see it connect to Torah Kufn and Hey, which we did last with Eretz Yisrael. Aras upon him who tikkana emes. The light of the face is the fixing and truth. Bechinas Yaakov. This is Yaakov. Yaakov was a tzaddik who only ate what he needed. He only drank what he needed. It's in the Torah. He was a ish emes. He was midas emes. He is the epitome of truth in the world. They say Moshe emes, but also Yaakov is Tiferes is emes. Moshe calls it Titan emes Yaakov. It's a pasuk in Micha in the prophets. He bechinas tefillin. Yaakov was the aspect of tefillin. Ki Yaakov hu Tiferes. Yeah, klalin hagavanin. This is including all the different kinds of colors. It's an inclusion of all the colors. Remember, we said the colors is when we're losing the color. We're losing the redness, the healthiness of the face when we get embarrassed. It's pushing the blood out.
He's going to connect the colors. Yeah, connected to the ketonis of Yosef.
Maybe. And it's feeling a crime payah. Yeah, the idea of tefillin is called peh. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's colorful. Even though it's not physically colorful, but it has a beauty to it. This glory that you wear, this is the tefillin. Ika ashiris bo me'emes. Main wealth comes from truth. It's a Gemara in Shabbos. Kushta kai. Yeah, we talk about this. We have this concept of kushta's emes. Emes stands. Yeah.
That was the bird.
Yeah, that's what we said before. I know Gemara in Pesachim, he's jumping all over Shas, yeah, because he's a tzaddik, he knows everything in Torah. Rabbi Nachman, Ves hayokum asher bergleim, that and it will be established your legs. Zeh memono. What do you stand on? Kushta kai. These are the pillars. You stand netzach hod. We mentioned Rabbi Nachman netzach. Netzach is victory. You're standing. These are the two pillars that hold up the Torah. They're pillars that hold up. What's the pillars that hold up the Torah? The funding, the chesed. This is what holds up the ability for us to learn. If someone had donated all this for him, donated this basement, just donated the air conditioning, donated the light, we wouldn't be able to sit here and learn. So we'd be sitting in your house. And we'd have kids jumping on you and your wife and my wife, and we wouldn't be learning. Yeah. So the ability to learn is the fact that there's chesed, the money that holds up these pillars of Torah. Yeah. These are their legs. Money is the legs. Sha'alav kai. This is how it stands. Your life is dependent upon this. Tefilav. And this is totally on your either tefillin or his prayers. I'm not sure. What does it say over here? It's dependent on your prayers or your tefillin. Because tefilav and tefillin are very connected. What would you reckon? I'm guessing on prayers. The legs are the stands for the money. Tolim ze tolit tefilav, hangs up his tefillin. Okay, he says tefillin. So it could be checked. This refers to his tefillin. Tefillin is emes. Gam Amru says in Menachos also Chazal, ze kana tavuas min ashuk, hainu shadalis bo ayidei pagam tefillin, ayidei pagam shal emes, which is very interesting. Another reason, if a person doesn't have kosher tefillin, the pagam tefillin is not looking after it; it's hanging them instead of, hanging tefillin is not covered. Yeah, when you take tefillin, you take with both hands. You don't hang. You don't like take the straps and throw them around.
Pagam tefillin could also be not putting them on.
That's true also. Or they're not kosher. So there's a pagam like there's a break in them. Either way, it leads, it's a pagam in MS, in truth, and a pagam, as we said, in MS leads to, God forbid, poverty. Yeah, to having this poverty. So if you want to be able to buy the tefillah from the shuk, you need to have tefillah in MS and truth.
I would definitely think he's saying that.
Yeah, and then he says...
It's so connected to eating. It's just a totally different aspect.
Yeah.
But it's like, if a person eats in the amistic way, in the right reasons, they'll be illuminated and blessed and wealthy.
Very good.
Right? But if you're not, if just the person is like eating for the wrong ways, right? But let's jump to the opposite, right? But let's jump right back here. If you're
tefillin,
also on this, your person is like, I gotta buy my tefillin.
Yeah, tefillin is MS.
You show me your tefillin.
It's the glory of Hashem on your head. It's beautiful. It's bringing all those colors back to Hashem, even though it's black, but somehow it represents this beauty. And Eretz Yisrael, we'll just read one more thing, and we'll end off with this. Eretz Yisrael she'ika kabbalasa b'chinas Yaakov,
which is MS.
Eretz Yisrael is MS. We learned that Kufnan Hey, the Torah before last week, and the main receiving is the aspect of Yaakov, Kamach Shekosov, v'yeshiv Yaakov ba'aretz, and Yaakov dwelt in the land. V'shvil zeh nikras Eretz HaChaim. And that's why we call it, and we say that even in davening, it's Eretz HaChaim. It's a land of life. Ki tefillin nikram chaim. And then it connects back to tefillin. He goes straight back to tefillin. The Zohar is chaim. Kamo shekosov Hashem aleim yichu. Hashem will be upon them and they will live. Zeh shivcha. Yeah, this is praise. Asher lo misakenes tachol ba lechem. Ki lepamim adam achol lechem machmas aniyas. Lo machmas asorin taivas tanugim acherim avaim hayel shah machalem lo yo echo lechem levad. Zeh shavach sheretz Yisrael, and it goes on and on. The idea is we need to eat with kedusha. We need to eat for the right reasons, and we need to eat with truth. And this is going to be the key. We're going to learn of Eretz Yisrael. This is going to be the key of everything we're doing over here. And it will, for example, now as Mansum Chaseni, we started off. We want to enjoy Sukkot. We want to have blessing for the new year. We want to have lots of simcha. Eat with emes.
That's when we learn in the Sukkah. Bezrat Hashem.
Yeah, Mr. Hashem.
Amazing.
So we're learning.
We'll start with Eretz Yisrael. This is great.
And Yaakov is his Chag is the Chag of Sukkot. Think about it. What it says in the Shulchan Aruch, it says Avram is Pesach, Yitzchak is Shavuos. It's Shulchan Aruch too. Yaakov is Sukkot.
Amazing.
Yaakov is Sukkot. It's a time of emes. It's time to be together with all of Klal Yisrael in one Sukkah together, to enjoy, to eat, but to eat in a truthful way, in the right way. We don't fuss. You can't. Ideally, the Sukkah should bring das, should bring awareness of what we're here for. And that should give you a holy eating, and that will elevate everything you do. And then you'll be able to be in the land of Chaim, Eretz Chaim. Tefillin is Chaim. We don't need to wear tefillin, because you got it free. You get the oath without having to wear it. The kedusha of the Chag has the tefillin within it. You don't need to wear tefillin Sukkos. That's one minhag my father for sure does every year. He doesn't wear tefillin Sukkos.
Amazing.
Yeah, or Pesach.
And the zchut of that he should.
Even though he's got tefillin, he definitely doesn't wear them on Sukkot and Pesach, I hope. There are some people who do that, but that's a different story. The concept of once you connect to the Torahs of a Tzaddik, you don't need tefillin Sukkot. That's according to the minhag of Chassidim anyway, at least. And
it's like blowing the shofar on Shabbos.
No, it's not. There are people who wear tefillin.
I'm saying, but like you're going to kin it to like if why you wouldn't blow the shofar on Shabbos.
There's a kedusha. You're covered. There's a kedusha.
I'm not saying what people do or don't do.
Yeah, there's different minhagim. Yeah. And
certainly in America, most people. I mean,
you grew up people wearing tefillin.
Sure, it's more of a trend now that they aren't. I mean, I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons is because the light of the Torah of the Tzaddikim has become more popular, and the Torah Tzaddikim means you don't need tefillin on Sukkot. Even though there's a minhag not like that. The main thing is we should be more emistic. How we eat, how we speak, how we act, and that will be blessed. And And I've seen you will live a life of miracles. You will have everything you need. You won't need to come onto people. And if you do have to come onto people and it is embarrassing, okay, but like that story I told, there'll be a Kiddush Hashem within that also, and there'll be a lot of chizuk and light. It should be with simcha, the ikka thing. Simcha brings everything good. And we have to not allow the Torah to make us feel down and fresh and get caught up in a low way of being. We have to live in an elevated Torah, spiritual, tzaddik way, and realize we can do it now in 2023 with all the nisyonos. Amen.
Amen.
Shem Yazor. Should be a Chag Sameach. And we'll learn more of Rabbi Nachman soon.